Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Tuesday. Thanks for that, Ryan. And all of our guests today, including Craig Button, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Located oceanside in beautiful Parksville. You've been there, Rick.
Oh, yeah.
The Bayside Resort is one of Vancouver Island's premier spots to get away, unwind, and recharge with a locally inspired menu in their breathtaking restaurant. Their panoramic ocean view guest rooms and on-site pool and fitness center, the Bayside Resort is your one-stop shop for relaxation. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com.
That was a really good read.
Yeah.
As
Was it
opposed
the
to
wrong
any
one?
other day.
Was it the wrong one?
I mean, it's the waddling dog, but that's fine.
Okay, well,
I'll get Dollywall to do that, and we'll all even it out later.
Look at this. It says Tuesday guests.
Yep.
We've done this before. There's two reads. We alternate the reads, but I just assumed when Derek showed the graphic, you would clue in. That's fine.
I've only been in the business
Exactly,
900
exactly.
years. We got Craig?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Okay, you managed to do that, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Craig Button, TSN Scouting Director, joining us now as he does every Tuesday. How are you? Look at that shirt.
Oh, look at that.
How are you, sir?
Pops. That shirt pops.
Yeah, tie-dye, Rick and Donnie. It's tie-dye. It's from the Lululemon lab.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I said, hey, why not? You know what? Bring tie-dye back. I'm wearing. Keep the focus off my face. That's the whole key.
Oh, no. You're looking good. Very 60s of you. Very 60s of
nice.
you.
Very nice.
Craig. Hey, Canucks beat the Blackhawks 3-1. I just love the play at the end of that game. Luke Schenn blocks a shot. And, and maybe you expect that from Luke Schenn. Turns around, scores a goal within the space of, 4 or 5 seconds. When it comes to Luke Schenn, he got over 20 minutes of ice time last night playing with Quinn Hughes most of the time. How much respect do you have for him in terms of being a high draft pick whose career went south for a significant amount of time, that he was able to resurrect himself and keep a job in the National Hockey League?
Well, and keep an important job. He was part of that Tampa Bay Lightning success.
Yeah.
So, when you're valued, by top teams, and I love what Bruce Boudreau said post game. You just love Luke Schenn. He gives you everything he's got. When he's at his best, when he's not at his best, you can always count on Luke to give you his very best. I remember a game. He was playing for Kelowna. Tyler Myers was his teammate in that draft year. I remember a game very, very vividly that to me describes Luke Schenn. I forget who they were playing, but it was a game where Kelowna was getting a little bit pushed back, and Luke Schenn just basically said, "Enough of this. There's no more of this going on." And he went literally on a rampage where he was so physical. I mean, Bruce touched on how many hits he had after the second period in the game versus Chicago, and he went on a rampage where he said, okay, you think you're going to push us back and try to gain an advantage? Not on my watch. And it was just one of those impressive moments. And it wasn't just a moment. It was through a stretch of the game where he just said, you know what? We're not laying down, and you're not going to push us around. And, I think that's symbolic of Luke Schenn. Yeah, okay, he was the 5th overall pick, and there was high hopes for him being the 5th overall pick. But Luke Schenn said, you know what? Here's what I am, and I'm going to give you everything I got. And he's been valued for that. We know what he is. I mean, he's a bottom pair defenseman on a championship team in Tampa Bay. He was a depth defenseman. But players become really valuable for different reasons. And I think the way Bruce talked about Luke, the way Luke plays the game, it's exactly how I've seen him play it from the time he was in junior with the Kelowna Rockets. And it's no accident that success, he's found a way to intersect with success at the National Hockey League level.
Hey, Craig, Vasily Podkolzin will get back in the lineup from what we understand tonight for the Canucks against Nashville. But he was a healthy scratch last night. 0 goals in 10 games. I'm putting you on the spot here. What are you seeing from Vasily Podkolzin?
Well, number one, you're not putting me on the spot, and
I
number
never
two,
do.
if you were, you never mind putting me on the spot. Vasily he's such an interesting player for me, and we've talked about Vasily a lot. Last year in St. Petersburg, did he play enough? Did he get enough opportunity to show what he's capable of? I don't know what Bruce Boudreau's expectations of Vasily is. New management coming in, what their expectations of Vasily is. All I know is this about Vasily: he's not any different than Luke Schenn in this regard. When he's out there on the ice, you can count on his 100% best effort. He does so many things, in my view, that are positive for a team that can't just be measured in goals and assists. And yeah, the record shows he hasn't scored in 10 games and whatnot. But he's invested. He's invested in the methodology towards winning, and that's a player that I want, and that's a player I want in the lineup. Sometimes you remove a player from the lineup just to give him a breather, just to let him take a step back. And certainly a player in his rookie year, I can understand it. But, without knowing what the view of Vasily Podkolzin is with a new coach and new management, all I know is this: he is a player that I want on my team. He is a player that gives you like smart play in so many different areas, determined play in all areas. And, I think that not somebody like that Podkolzin specifically is a player that helps you win. So, if it's one game just to give him a breather, that's fine. But if he's not part of the Vancouver Canucks plans going forward, especially being on an entry-level contract, I'd be a team out there that would be exceptionally interested in trying to find a way to get him on my team.
Craig, rumors abound in Vancouver. You're not surprised. Trading deadline around the corner. Miller, Garland, Besser, Mott, Shannon, looks like names all over the place. Your thoughts as you look at the Canucks, where they are in the standings, with an eye on the future, the whole 9 yards. You've been a GM in the National Hockey League, especially in the Canadian market, trading deadline. It gets pretty hairy with rumors. Your thoughts on the next few weeks and what the Canucks are dealing here with in terms of their future and how they tackle this trade deadline?
Well, so the trade deadline is their next immediate focus with respect to how they improve their team. Number one, you have to have a clear idea of where you need to improve, and I think that it's very evident where the Vancouver Canucks have to improve, and that's on the blue line. So, when you look at trading any player, I don't care what names are being mentioned, it better be with a focus on acquiring one or two defensemen that you can believe can play in your top two pairs. You got Quinn Hughes, he's a number one, there's no problem there. But they lack, and not one, they lack two top four defensemen, two top pair, the two top two pair defensemen. Mm-hmm. So, I said this Saturday night, if you want to trade JT Miller, that's fine. You better get a top three defenseman back, because that's the only way I'm trading them. Because if you're just trading them for a first round draft pick and a prospect, and I'm not saying that isn't a move that you shouldn't consider, because then you look, okay, what could we do in the free agent market? What else is there? But at the end of the day, JT Miller has another year left on his contract, and he's a good player. And, but they have salary cap challenges and they have blue line challenges. So you look at the forward group, I don't think there's any question you're going to have to look at trading a forward. I know I am going to raise the eyebrows of Canucks fans. But, right now, you talk about JT Miller, where is Elias Pettersson at? Where is Elias Pettersson at with respect to his, what's he going to be and where his salary cap is? And could you ostensibly consider trading him to get a really good defenseman? Because if you want a really good defenseman, you're not trading Connor Garland to get that really good defenseman. That I can tell you. You better start talking about Elias Pettersson or Brock Besser. And that might make people, oh my God, how can we do that? Well, then don't say oh my God, complain about your defense, because they go hand in hand, and where the Canucks find themselves, these are considerations that they have to put on the table. Doesn't mean you act on them, but don't take considerations off the table to improve your team.
Craig, here's the other problem the Canucks have. They're 12-4-4 under Boudreau the first 20 games. They're winning a lot. And so all of a sudden you trade one of your best players. What message are you sending in the dressing room? they're not far out of the playoffs. I know teams have games in hand on them, but you have this dilemma where the team's doing really well under their new head coach.
Well, and so again, I'm going to go to Bo Horvat, and I'm going to go to, Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser. So you're going to trade JT Miller, and you're going to say, oh, we got a first-round draft pick back. But like, really? The players are going, really?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
how
it.
does that help us?
Yeah.
And Rick, that does absolutely have to be a consideration.
Absolutely.
Because if that's where you're going, understand that now the players are going, oh, okay, then why should I get committed to the present when you're not committed to the present?
That's it.
Yeah. The thing is, though, Miller's contract ends at the end of next season. Besser is up for renewal, so they might head elsewhere anyway. Oh, sorry, Craig. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this.
The finger's up.
Let me ask you this. If you could trade Elias Pettersson for a top defenseman, a really good young defenseman in the same category, however you do it, and sign JT Miller long term and to an extension, what do you think of that?
Well, Craig, anybody who watches this show enough knows that I'd do that in a second. I would do that in a second.
Craig, you've brought Pettersson's name up. How disappointed are you with his play this year? I mean, this is supposed to be a key figure in Vancouver for many, many more years to come.
How can you not be disappointed?
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah.
But what you got to do is, if you're Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin, what you got to do is make sure that you don't get caught up in your emotions and you assess where a player is at. You say, okay, we like Elias Pettersson. Maybe this is what he is. So now, I feel exactly the same way about Matt Barzal and with the New York Islanders.
Yes.
And Matt Barzal is going to make $10 million next year. And there's not $10 million of value in Matt Barzal. Not the way he's been playing. He had one terrific year. He has flashes of brilliance, but I don't see him as a brilliant player. I think the Vancouver Canucks have to ask themselves the same exact question on Elias Pettersson. What is he? And don't get caught up in the disappointment of this year. Don't get caught up in what he was. Figure out exactly what he is and then act appropriately.
Hey, Craig, enjoy Woodstock.
Hey, we're getting a lot of texts. People loving your shirt, loving it. Lululemon or whatever that is. It's looking good.
Innovation Lab, Lululemon.
Yeah,
and you know what? I got it on there, made too much. So you might see a lot of people on this made too much.
Wow.
Okay, Craig.
Wow.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Thanks.